Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Minecraft. And I am here with Dewey,
Hello.
and you can see him over there peeking behind the tree. And we're also here with Luminary Xion.
Ohayo.
And we are in this mystical forest, as you can see, kind of. We're actually in this walled-off section, which we are going to turn into some kind of garden. Is that right, Dewey?
Yep, we're going to convert this into a greenhouse, and we're going to be planting a whole bunch of crops for later. But before we get too crazy with what we're building, like any good house, we need a foundation. And cobble, I personally think, is kind of just blah. I mean, you put a block down, and it just doesn't look all that great. So we're going to be using a mod known as Chisel today, and we're going to change a little bit of our environment around us so it doesn't look so blah.
That sounds pretty cool. So what exactly does that involve? Can you chisel on any surface, or...?
Yeah, there's quite a few different blocks that you can chisel on. For the most part, it is the vanilla blocks that you will find throughout the world. There are a few exceptions. For example, right behind you there is a piece of quarried block, that little white bit, and it's kind of sort of a marble, whitish block, a little lighter than what marble would normally be. And this is just something that we cooked in an oven. But if I hit it with this chisel, which is this little handle piece tool thing I have in my hand here, if I just smack it once, you'll see that the block changes. And so we went from a quarried block to a ornate quarried stone, and it has a little bit of a different pattern. So just as if I were to take a chisel or some other carving tool and smacking stone in the real world, I can do that to some of the stones and various blocks in this world.
Now, if you hit it more than once... Oh, there you go, yeah.
Yeah, so I can do things like get some creeper faces going, some quarried brick if I want, some fitted quarried stone, and then it goes back. So this particular case, there's not a whole lot of options, but I'll toss you the chisel, and I'll toss you a block. And so what you'll do is you'll right-click with the chisel in your hand, it'll open an inventory, and you'll see that on the right-hand side are a whole bunch of squares, and on the left-hand side there's a single square. And you'll put the block you want to chisel in the left-hand side, and all of your options will pop up on the right-hand side. And you can then see all of your... Yeah, you can see all of your available options. So that's what I did with some dirt here. So if I put a couple of these pieces of dirt down, you can start to see that there are multiple varieties of dirt that I can start doing rather than just the ugly default grass. Same thing goes for cobble. I have a couple pieces of cobblestone with a dark panel, which looks like that. And if I put regular cobble right beside it, you can totally see how that looks way different. So instead of having a wall where I go like this, and you can see it's just cobble, 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 and then white, and then cobble, 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 and so on, then I have a little bit more of some pattern, a little bit more refinement. It doesn't look just like this repeating pattern over and over and over, and then just totally blech to look at. Some people like it. It really depends on preferences of various people. Some people, like myself and Luminary Xion, I personally hate it. And once I found out what Chisel could do, and I kind of sometimes get yelled at if I build everything out of cobble, so I just try not to.
And is there any surface that can't be chiseled?
Yeah, there are some surfaces. So, for example, this blue wood, this magic wood, if you try and hit it with your chisel, you'll notice that if you left-click, it doesn't do anything. And that tells you that in the Chisel mod, the developer has not added this particular piece of wood with any alternative textures to use. So that would be up to them to decide if they want to incorporate that or not. Or maybe they'll just do a release of Chisel 3.0 or 4.0 or whatever the version is now, where they start to include other things from other mods. So far, I believe there's... I think it's 70-some odd blocks that you can chisel, which is actually quite a few. And there's definitely a very wide selection that you can pick from.
Now, how do you use it? You say you just hit the left button on it? Because it doesn't do anything for me.
Yeah, so there's two ways to do it. Here, toss me the chisel for a second. There's the right-click way, which if you already have the block. Oh, okay, because you still have the block in the inventory. So if I'll toss it back, right-click to open the graphic interface, take the block out, and then hit the block.
Get that there. There we go. So take the block out, and it should work now?
Yeah, there you go.
Okay. But of course it does damage to the weapon every time you use it, right?
Right, so it suffers from durability, just like all of the other bits and pieces in vanilla Minecraft. That is an iron chisel, and later we can make a diamond chisel, Very easy to make. It's just one stick and one piece of iron, or one stick and one piece of gold, and they're just set up diagonally from each other. So if I were to do a little crafting grid on the ground here, and I were to take a stick, like so, and stick it in the corner, and then if I were to take a piece of iron, which I don't currently have, but I will represent that with a piece of cobble, and if you stand kind of where I was standing here, that's the crafting formula, and it would give you a spinning chisel if this was actually a valid recipe. And of course, where the cobble is, you could replace that with a piece of diamond, and that would give you a diamond chisel, which has more durability.
Nice.
Would you like an actual table to try that out in?
Sure.
To show the actual recipe, since everyone can see the table together. Yeah. There.
Do you have a piece of iron or a diamond? Ah, there you go. Yeah. So just like that.
Nice. Thank you, Luminary. It would be Luminary Xion and not Luminosity, which I keep calling her for some reason. I apologize for that. So, you said there was how many blocks? 50 something?
Somewhere between 50 and 70 of various bits and pieces that you can use chisel on. There's stuff that I've never even seen before. For example, there's something called a mossy temple block. I've never seen mossy temple block to start with. I don't know what that is, but it looks really cool. It's this kind of greenish, glowy stuff. You can do it to gold, you can do it to glowstone, which actually really starts to look really cool. I'll actually just grab one of these items here, 1381.
Does it give it any more durability when you use this, or no?
I'm not sure I understand what you mean.
Well, when you chisel a block, does it take more to kind of tear it down than one that isn't chiseled?
No, okay, I see. So something that you've chiseled, is it? Yeah, no, it's not harder. It retains the same durability properties as the block that you're replacing it with. I'm just actually going to flip into cheat mode really quick and find one block that has an actual texture, not something that just outright fails. Yeah, so here's some granite. And if I take the original granite, you'll see the difference really quick. Which
So
would be,
that's granite right there.
yeah, that is chiseled granite, and that is normal granite. So you can see normal granite is very kind of pixelated, kind of ugly looking. You can start to get some textures there.
Well, it has
And
quite a
it'll
few to
cycle
pick from.
Yeah, granite is one of the lower number of options that you have. And once you get into cobblestone, for example, so if you go and smack this cobblestone piece around the corner here, you'll start to see that you can cycle through a lot of options. So you can
some of
start
these are pretty
getting,
cool.
yeah, you can start getting like colored cobblestone. You can start getting some patterns going. Some of the patterns, as you can tell on the base of the foundation here, they'll actually merge into one another. So instead of having, yeah, you just saw them merge there a second ago. Instead of having each piece with its defined borders, it'll just go to the next piece and then end its border there. Kind of like if you're in a spreadsheet and you say merge cells, and you have a nice little border that goes around the whole thing instead of each individual block.
Wow, you can change the color as well, huh?
Yeah, so some people like to have some rainbow stuff if they want to build, rainbows out in the world, and they don't want to spend all the time breeding all the sheep and getting the individual pieces of wool. They can come into Chisel and drop a piece of wool in there and start smacking away.
Oh, so you can actually change the color without using a chisel, is what you're saying.
No, you would do it through Chisel if there was an option for that particular block. So when you saw the cobble changing color, that's because Chisel actually has decided they're going to have various colors of cobblestone in there.
Okay.
And I don't know if the same is true for wool, but it actually may be. I'm not sure. No, it doesn't appear that they have any. Oh yeah, actually there is. Looks like there's some white, some orange, there's some magenta, some blue, yellows. There's quite a few colors. There's probably about 15 options here. Yeah.
Well, that's kind of cool. So we're going to do that along the wall here. That's what you're going to set up?
Yeah, so in this particular case, I just have the wood here temporarily because we have our little pack foragers running around and we want to keep them in here for the moment. But you can start to see where I've hit the chisel on some of these blocks all around. I have started to build a foundation, and what we're going to be doing, just when we're offline here, is all these pieces of wood. I'm going to be replacing them with something known as clear glass from Tinker's Construct, and actually there's clear glass from Ender.io as well. And it literally looks like a vanilla glass pane, but it is completely clear. You can't really see it. And what we can start to do is you'll notice that I'm basically accenting where the support structures would be in a traditional greenhouse. So instead of just having a glass dome and that's it, it'll be a glass dome with all of the engineering structures that you would normally expect in a dome to hold it up.
Right, so this is actually going to be completely closed off on the ceiling as well.
Yeah, so the ceiling will be completely glass, and it'll have a nice little archway down at the end, a nice little archway here at this end, and there'll be, again, support structures in between as aesthetics. You don't actually need said support structures. I mean, the blocks will stay there, but it's just something to make it look really nice.
And the reason for closing it off is what? Just for looks, or is that going to keep something out?
Both. It's for looks and to keep something out, and I will reload my game client as I happen to.
So, we went link dead there for a second, guys. Do apologize for that. But my question was, the roof, is that just merely decorative, or is there a purpose to that to kind of keep animals out?
Yeah, there'll be purpose to the roof. It'll do a couple things for us. One, it'll keep the weather out. So instead of having rain dropping on us all the time and messing up our vision, it'll keep that out. We'll still have access to the sky so that we can see the stars, we can see what time of day it is, all that fun stuff. If we decide to put bees in here, which is a different mod, some of those bees do need direct sky access, so that will help a lot with that. And of course, it's the aesthetics. So when you look at a greenhouse, it's not just this box in the middle of nowhere, kind of like, you know, a Target or something like that. It's an actual greenhouse. It serves both form and function. So that roof is going to be, it's going to be for looks, it's going to be for function, it's going to keep us safe, and it's going to keep us dry when weather hits.
But there's not actually a temperature reason, basically, like in real life, where it may be really cold outside, but you still have the greenhouse on the inside?
No, there's nothing like that. There is one mod known as Enviromine, which does start to get into those specifics. So if it's wintertime and you start to freeze, you can freeze to death. But that's not in this particular pack. But if we ever decide to migrate our structure, because it's going to be absolutely gorgeous, we'll be definitely adequately prepared.
Sweet, that does sound like a pretty cool pack. I do like that survivalism kind of thing to it. Because you already have that with the food, basically. You got to keep up with the food, you got to rest, and you got to survive the night. So that does kind of make sense that the temperature would come into play.
Yeah, absolutely. If you were thrown in the middle of the woods and you had only just a basic set of stone tools, what are you going to do to make sure that you survive?
Right, and one thing I wanted to ask that I just thought of is this dirt right here that I use the chisel on. Can grass still grow on it after you've done the chisel, or no?
I've never seen that happen. We could find out real quick.
Well, I mean, it's not real quick, is it? I mean, grass takes like a whole day to grow.
Oh, no. Not, oh.
He booked it right for that. He wanted out of here.
I'm going to get yelled at for that later. So for those that didn't see that...
Oh, no, the second guy's going for it.
Oh, he's making a jailbreak?
Oh,
okay.
Almost. I sealed it up for you.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, man. That dude booked it right for that hole.
For those of you that didn't see that, we have these little peck foragers running around from Thaumcraft, and I just lost one of them that we've been keeping as our
prisoners.
Invited guest. No, not prisoner.
It puts the lotion on.
That's just creepy.
Look at them. They're stuck in here. They so want out. The moment we opened up a hole, he was just like, nope, that's my freedom. I'm out of here. And he left his little friend here.
Redemption.
Yeah, he left his little friend. He was like, no, I can't take you with me. Sorry, bud. He's going to get reinforcements or something right now. We're going to find an army of these little orc-type creatures outside of our wall here in a second.
And they're actually quite creepy looking as well, so it's, yeah.
Yeah, they are. I mean, like, I'll get up here and see if I can get to his face. Although he doesn't seem to like me. He actually seems to be running away from me right now. Get over here, little button. Come on. Come on. I'm not that ugly. Get back here.
It's highly entertaining.
I can't get to him. There we go. No, he's running still. Oh, my God. Did I put on the wrong cologne this morning or what? This guy will not let me get close to him. There we go. And you can see he has a little eye patch on, or maybe that's an eye that he's missing. And you can see a little tiny crate on the back, and he has There he goes running again. Wow, he does not like me at all.
Did you shower this morning?
I guess not enough. I'll jump in this little purple water. Maybe that will wash it off. There we go.
So I've connected the dirt we were talking about earlier to some grass, hoping that the grass would spread, and it appears that potentially not. I don't know if this is even going to spread to this dirt block right here. It may be taking a lot longer than I've ever thought, but I will let you know, and I'll update your comments there as to what happens with that. Might take a couple days of sitting here at the computer and just staring at this one little dirt block really intensely until it changes color.
Right.
And I could be here a while.
Because that would be a pretty cool method if you didn't want the grass growing all over the place. Although I really like the way the grass and the nature looks, I kind of tried to incorporate that into any structure I do, because I think that just looks better. I think too much of any block kind of makes it look very, because I live in a big city, and that can get very tiresome after a while, just seeing concrete all over the place. So I very much enjoy nature. And so I try to do that as much as possible. But that is a method. If you have a little area out in the middle of your garden or something that you kind of want to keep the grass off of, instead of surrounding it by these bricks like we've done, you might be able to try using the chisel and see if that works for you guys.
Might be a possibility. More than one way to skin a cat. That sounds awful now that I said it.
Yeah, I don't know who came up with that saying, because I don't know anybody who wants to skin a cat, to be honest. It's pretty harsh.
Sounds kind of creepy.
But you were going to show us some more stuff, right?
I was? Refresh my memory real quick.
Well, these trees over here, you're going to give us a little description on these guys, and what other trees we're going to plant in the future over here in our little garden.
Yeah, absolutely. So these happen to be just regular oak trees that would be coming out of vanilla Minecraft. However, because we have something installed known as Pam's Harvest Craft, you can see that they have little something hanging from their leaves. In this case, we have some chestnuts over here, and we have some avocado hanging from over here. And that is definitely a food that we can eat. So if I grab this chestnut here, it's all ready for harvesting. Not that one, this one. So you can see that it broke there real quick, and I now have a chestnut in my hands.
Now, you doing a left click or a right click on that?
That was just a quick left click.
Okay.
So I can either eat this directly, which I'm not going to do, or I can then add this to various other recipes. I can make things like mince pie, I can make some trail mix, I can make a roasted chestnut. Hey, chestnuts roasting on open fires? That sounds like a perfect Christmas miracle to me.
Oh, yeah, we definitely got to do a Christmas episode in this game.
And I know that there is a mod, I don't know what it's called, but it can take various fruits and whatnot and turn them into booze. So I'll definitely have to do some research on that.
Nice. So do you actually get drunk off of them and blur your vision or anything like that, or what?
I have no idea, but I totally am going to find out.
Right, because that does sound pretty cool. Now, these avocados, how do you know when they're ready to be picked?
The avocado will look a lot like, well, like this. It'll look like an actual avocado that's been cut in half, and you'll know that it's ready to pick. Now, this particular one, it happened that I just got lucky with this. It actually did drop. A lot of these fruits and veggies and whatnot, if you harvest them too early, you may or may not actually get a result. So it's definitely very wise to just let it go to maturity and then harvest your goods.
Now, you have this over here where the garden's going to go, but do you really have to have these trees next to water, or no?
No, I can plant these trees wherever I please. Some crops will actually, pretty much all crops, they'll require water. So what I've done here is, if I make a hoe really quick, is I've put the water here because this will allow me to very quickly start dropping seeds from various other plants. And I have some cotton seeds here actually that we're going to plant real quick. So if I till the land into farmland, you can see that the original block is this kind of light brown. The middle block is that darker brown, and see the second one and the third one just popped up. And what this is telling me is these blocks have adequate hydration. Hydration is very important for plants, obviously, and so is adequate light, which is what I just popped down here as well. And without those two pieces, these pieces of farmland will revert back to dirt, and it'll pop the crop back off of the land. So you wind up losing whatever progress you have. So here I've just planted a couple cotton seeds. These will grow into a cotton plant, which I can then come by and harvest at a later date.
Now, how close do they have to be to the water to get that moisture soaking into the soil?
I believe it's 4 blocks from a water source. So in this case, I have water source right here. So the wood is 1, 2, 3, and then 4. Let me see if that is still true. We'll have a look at this block here and see if it reverts back on its own. If it doesn't, then it's either 4 or 8, and I can't remember off the top of my head.
So
It's been a while.
are you going to take water from over here and put it over there and do like every other one, or what?
Yeah, so it has reverted back, so it is 4.
But are you gonna move this water later on, or are you gonna keep all this the way it is right here?
Actually, neither. What I'm going to be doing at a later date, and we'll come back to the greenhouse and recover it. What I'm going to be doing is setting up a sprinkler system. So there'll be a block, kind of something along the lines of this. And if I get rid of some of these blocks, just to give you a rough idea, there'll be some piping which will supply a sprinkler system. The sprinkler system has a limited range, and actually I just trampled that particular crop. You can see how the dirt has popped back up. That's my own fault.
But the plant's still there.
The plant is still there for the moment, yeah. And what the
Oh.
sprinkler will do at a later date, it'll just water the immediate surroundings, so I won't have to carry water around as a source, and make it actually like a true, real greenhouse.
Will it turn on every so often, or will it constantly just be sprinkling down water?
There's different ways to do it. I can either say I want it to go now, or I'll just have it on a constant trickle.
Hey guys,
Yes.
Hey,
who's Gideon Seymour, and can we kill him?
Sure, we can kill Gideon Seymour. That would be from the Headcrumbs mob. Or mod, not mob. I just don't know where
Ah, someone
exactly.
left the door open. Ah, close it. Ah.
Ah, there he is. Oh, he looks like, what's his face, from Dilbert comics. That was actually kind of creepy.
did you kill him already?
Oh yeah. Didn't take me long.
Now you're actually building something out here, right? This little pit. What exactly is this going to be?
This here is from Tinker's Construct. It'll be our smeltery. And from the smeltery, we will... Oh, heads up.
Zul Jean.
Oh, let's check that guy out.
Yeah, so that's from the mod Headcrumbs. They are hostile mobs. It's various developers and members of the community that have volunteered to be basically cameoed into the game. Anyhow, back to smeltery. So the smeltery, what it's going to do, it's going to take something like our iron and it's going to convert it into a liquid form, which we will then pour into this casting table with an actual cast, very blacksmith type mod, and it'll make various bits and pieces for some better tools. For example, right now I have an iron sword. It's pretty good, but it's not the best, because with Tinkers, what I can do is, depending on the materials I use, depending on how many pieces of said material I use, I can change the properties of my weapons and tools. I can make them hit harder, I can make them last longer, we can make them even just look cooler if that's what we're going for. They can do all kinds of extra goodies that just aren't available in vanilla Minecraft.
And cool. So what exactly do you have to put in this to get it to work? What's left that you need?
In this particular case, I don't have anything else that I need to add to this unit here in order to get it up and running. And the way that I know this is because this particular controller block right here with all the flames coming out of it, that's telling me that it's active and ready to go. So if you jump down here real quick, AC Gamer, and you right click on that, you'll see a little inventory pop up. On the left, there's some squares for blocks. In the middle, there's kind of a little gauge looking thing that's going to be our liquid of whatever we're smelting. And on the right is some lava being required for the actual smelting process. So if I jump in the house real quick and I grab a piece of ore, pardon me, if I ask Luminary Xion to please jump into the house and grab a piece of ore and toss it into the smeltery.
Just one? You don't want glass?
Yeah, actually glass would be a good idea.
Okay, I'm gonna toss sand in then.
Sure. So what you'll start to see is there's a little small red bar which will progressively start getting taller and taller and taller as the glasses, or pardon me, as the sand is smelting. And if you jump on these tables here, and carefully jump onto the top, you'll notice that our piece of sand is actually in the smeltery, and it'll actually convert into liquid glass. Don't actually jump in there.
Yeah,
I'm stuck.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to bust you out. Hold up. Stop jumping for a quick second.
Oh no.
Okay, jump out.
There we go. Sorry guys, I really suck at my directions. So yeah, I can see the sand in there. So any objects you put in there, you'll be able to see.
Yeah.
And is there a limit to
And-
how many that you could put in there? Like, is the size of the smelter a factor?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so if I make this taller, that little graphic interface that you see earlier, that will get longer and longer, and I can start smelting more at once.
I'm gonna make it so
Okay.
I can actually see this.
Sure.
There we go.
Is there a max size to the size of your smelter, or you can pretty much do any size you want?
I think there's a max size. I can't remember how big it is. I could be wrong though.
Now, what's
But-
the smallest size you can have? Like, at some point,
Uh,
it won't smelt anything, right?
Right. So at the base, it's a 3x3, and that's actually underneath the ground level there. You can see it if you stand on top of the bricks here. And then immediately above that, it's a 4x4. Pardon me, 5x5, but you don't actually need the corners, which is exactly what I've done here. I've taken the corners out of the whole situation just to preserve a few blocks. And there's our liquid glass. It's this kind of bluish looking stuff. And if Luminary Xion hits the little faucet,
You'll get panes though. Do you not want blocks?
oh yeah, actually let's switch that up with a casting basin, which is,
See, that's why I do all the crafting.
this is true.
So you have to
Right.
Go
actually change the container that it comes out in, then.
Yeah, depending on the container that we're using, it will change the shape of whatever's coming out. So in this case, we're going to use a clear glass block, which will harden in a moment. Here it is, which I now have in my hand. If I were to place this down, for those people familiar with vanilla Minecraft, they would see a couple little visual artifacts in the glass itself, which is just kind of vanilla Minecraft glass. But this one, as its name entails, is clear glass. Hey, thank you, Luminary, that was a great idea. And if you had a whole row of this stuff, your vision would actually start to kind of get obstructed a little bit. And this kind of goes along with Chisel, where we're kind of saying, you know what, I don't really like these default textures. I want to do something a little different. So the clear glass, we can start using that for larger projects where we're going to do things like, for example, the greenhouse, we're going to have structures on either side, and it just really changes how things look. One of the other nice things too is, as you notice, I just broke the piece. I get my clear glass back. I don't get vanilla glass black. Black back. Yeah.
And
You can chisel the default glass. Really?
Luminary is telling me that you can chisel it.
Really?
Default glass, yeah.
The default one, Chris.
Oh,
so
okay,
the or man, I gotta stop doing that.
And there we go. That's pretty cool. I mean, I like that. Wow,
Ooh.
red. Never
Oh,
seen
what is that?
Chinese.
Oh, that is. Oh, that's cool. What would happen if you like had a piece of glowstone or something behind it and like had it all enclosed and oh man, that would look totally awesome.
You didn't know you could chisel that?
No.
Well, not yet.
Hey, this is cool. So like if I went like that and it were dark, like if I did type set I don't know 2000 and it's all dark and stuff. No, that's 8 a.m. I don't want 8 a.m. 20 MTT. Yeah, there we go. Oh, that looks cool.
That is pretty sweet. I like the way that looks. And you're right, a
It's
glowstone
like-
would look really good in there because it wouldn't have that little flame or anything, just pure light coming out.
And actually, since we're talking about glowstone and flame,
You can also chisel the
it-
torches.
yeah, hit this torch right here with the chisel.
What?
Left click it.
Nope, that didn't do anything.
Yeah, so here, just stop for a second. I'll throw one torch at you. Stick that in your little crafting GUI for the,
Okay, well, hold on a second. Let me open
and you'll
that
get
up.
some options.
Where's my torches? There we go. So let's throw that in there. Oh, wow, check that out. Oh, I like some of these. Let's. Oh, I just made 36 of those. I didn't mean to make that many.
Stop right clicking.
There we go. So I can put some of these down.
Oh, that looks cool.
Little Japanese kind of paper lanterns, almost maybe.
Mm-hmm.
That's what that looks like to
Yep.
me.
It's a Japanese paper lantern.
I like that. Let's
Nice.
look at the other ones real
Cool.
quick. I got
You
some
can
more.
chisel the ones you've already chiseled too.
You got some regular, just paper lanterns. Oh, we got some like Victorian type lights here. Let's put some of those down. Oh, I like that.
So, lots of endless options apparently.
Yeah, that one's the one we have on top of our house.
These Victorian type
Which one?
lights?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I think you do. Yeah, I think, yep, there's one right there.
Oh yeah.
That's cool. I like the fact that there's so many different variations to this game that you can really do whatever is in your mind, whatever your heart content is, you can design it. And these are all custom-built mods, right? These are the people who have taken the time to do for you.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's people like you and I who decide, you know what, I want to make something cool, and I happen to know Java, which is the programming language of Minecraft, and they just go to town and make it happen.
All right, guys. Well, I think we're going to go ahead and end the episode there. This has been a nice little brief introduction to chiseling and its many, many different facets, and we didn't even come close to showing you all the things that we can do with that, and a little bit about the smelting as well, creating this beautiful looking glass. It's really, really quite nice to look through. It's great for a window. There's the glass together. Yeah, that's wow. It really comes together nice and seamless, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So if you guys want to say anything before we go?
No, just remember to like, link, and subscribe.
また今度よろしくね。
And don't forget to go check out Luminary Xion